Hi Dawn, how are you?
Hi, Melody. I'm good today. Yeah, it's the weather's not that great, but
I know. It's
we're
only
in Scotland.
Tuesday and we've been very busy.
Yeah,
I feel like I've done a whole week of work.
yeah,
It's only
but not getting much
Tuesday.
done. Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. I took my laptop home last night because I have lots of admin work to do. And I sat there on the sofa after having dinner thinking my brain's not working.
Yeah,
And I was like, I couldn't even remember what I had to be doing. So I just did nothing. So today I'm writing a list.
yeah. I
So
had
when I
loads of
say,
ideas going through my head last night. Come this morning and it's went blank.
yeah.
They're swimming in there somewhere. They'll come back out.
So I thought that what one thing we can talk about is actually what we're dealing at this moment in time with different branches
Yep.
is the role of every individual in our offices,
Yeah.
in our franchisees. What do we have? We have directors, we have care managers,
Yep.
coordinators,
So,
care supervisors,
field staff.
and care staff.
Yep.
Okay, and care inspector in Scotland told us um, don't complicate it. You only need care manager, care supervisor, care coordinator, and care staff.
Yeah, just stick to the four,
Don't,
the four different levels, and
yeah.
then
And some of our offices, which are bigger, they have a business development manager
an office manager.
and an office manager, um, but they're not necessarily related to care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so let's just talk about what everybody does or where the confusions come from and the offices that maybe are not performing as well as they could is because they're not really sticking to
The
the
processes.
processes and the job roles, and the coordinators end up doing everything,
Yeah.
and the managers are delegating far too much and not overseeing things. So let's just talk about it. So let's start from director, company director.
Yeah. So I would say the role of the director is the visionary. They're the ones that the problems get brought to, or the things that are going really well get brought to, and you think long-term plans
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I would say that's what their role is, to make sure that the staff are all looked after, the service is running well and it's compliant, because they're the ones that are going to be accountable for if things go wrong. So yeah, I would say that's the main role of a director is share your vision and get everybody on board and have a really good culture within your team and support your team well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be the visionary and push the business forward
Yeah.
and hold everybody accountable.
Yeah.
So, in the franchises that we have now, we do have a few challenges. We're noticing if the business owner plays the role of director and they're hands on, those businesses do a lot better. The responsibilities are divided well, the staff know who to speak to when they have an issue. The visions is being communicated well with the whole team, and generally speaking, they perform better as a team
Yeah.
because it's not one person's job; it's a team job.
Yeah. One person can't do it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we see issues and struggles and confusion is where the business owner doesn't want to be hands-on, but doesn't want to recruit a director, and the next best person is the care manager, and the care manager will get into that, but with all the responsibilities that they have, they cannot play the role of director. And these directors who are not hands-on expect the rest of the team play directors,
Yeah, to do their job. Yeah.
as well as their own job, and it just doesn't work.
No.
It really doesn't work. And we in the head office and national office, we have that's where we have challenging situations in those businesses, and really it's because there's no proper leadership in place.
Yeah. I think we've noticed the difference ourselves. So if we go into a branch and we sit
Mm-hmm.
in that branch for a week,
Mm-hmm.
or a couple of days, then you get a better feeling how people interact with each
Mm-hmm.
other, their morale, or thing. You get a better feel if things are going well and what things aren't going so well.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important that a director is,
Mm-hmm.
when we say hands on, we mean present
Mm-hmm.
and available.
Yeah.
Rather than hard to contact and just
Mm-hmm.
leaving all the decisions to management.
Yes. Because one thing I think directors, especially the ones who maybe buy franchisees, generally speaking, people who are really experienced in business, they don't buy franchisees. generally speaking. I could be wrong. But people who buy franchisees are buying into our processes, they buy into our training, they buy into our coaching and mentorship and the support we give them. So they're still establishing themselves, they're still learning the ropes themselves.
Yeah.
So they expect to recruit someone and be the visionary, the goal setter, push the business forward, do the networking, do the disciplinary, do the daily operations, like you name it. And we constantly finding out we have to stop them and say, whoa, these are all your jobs. No, I don't want to be involved. Well, okay, you don't want to be involved, but you need to recruit someone to do that job for you, because when you recruit a coordinator or a manager or a care staff, you can't expect the coordinator to go to your networking events and push the business forward and talk about visions. They're not their visions. They're the director's visions or the business owner's visions. And we're actually finding it surprising. That's one of the challenges we didn't see coming.
No.
We had to spell out these things, and it's not sinking in well.
No.
We're having to really get involved and push it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you always say is nobody's going to push your business as much as you.
Yeah.
Nobody cares as much as you, and nobody's got as much at stake as the director. So you are the best person to push it forward.
Yeah, and exactly. And I keep telling my directors, I am saying, your staff can move away, find the next job tomorrow. You're stuck with a mess. If you don't do your leadership, if you don't manage your team, if you don't allocate work properly, if you don't look after your team, they just get paid salary. It doesn't matter how well you pay them. They can walk away and get another job. You're the business owner who invested money, who invested time, who has the vision, who has the goal, who really want to do well, and you're stuck with a mess because you didn't do things, you didn't put the structure in place properly from day one. And I am really surprised how we really, really have to pin these directors or business owners down, and they just don't get it.
Yeah, and we keep saying it's your business.
Yeah, we're now having
to.
Yeah, we're now having to stop the conversation. I remember one of our franchisees kept moaning about the coordinator and saying they're not leading, they're not leaders, and you had to stop him and say, hold on a minute. This person's just walked into the job. This is their first office job. They're still learning the ropes. They're not going to be able to lead your team or lead your business, or they don't have a clue. They're not business people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one of the important things for a director is to listen. Just be involved to a certain level and just listen. Listen to what they're telling you, listen to their challenges, and it's your job to make their job easier.
Yeah. Our job as business owners is problem solvers.
Yeah.
Okay. I am one of the first person. I've been in this line of work in care now since 2011. I knew nothing about care when I came into this industry. I had no experience. I still to this day don't know everything there is to know about running a care business. I know how to run the care business, but sit down and be the details person, that's not me. Yeah. But that's what my job is. I put a team together. I motivate them. You lead the team. You're the problem solvers. You're not so involved in the day-to-day running of the business, so you have the luxury of taking a step back and say, okay, they're struggling with something. How can I solve it? A business owner should be a problem solver. Yeah. And we now recruit differently when it comes to franchisees. But our first lot of franchisees, we didn't know how to. We just assumed everybody's going to have these skills.
Yeah, or the passion to do it, because it's, like you say, at the end of the day, it's your business. So you're going to be passionate about making sure that it's successful. But that's been a challenge because I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I think sometimes it is a confidence thing, and people don't know.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. How do you manage a manager? That's.
I feel like sometimes franchisees start businesses because in their head it's glamorous. They're now a business owner. They have it's a luxury. They have status. But what they don't realize is when you're a business owner, you're the marketeer, you're the recruiter, you're the advertiser, you do the disciplinary, you do to begin with, you do all the tasks. You're the cleaner. You have,
glamorous.
when the office runs out of milk and tea and coffee, you're the one going and buying it. When there's no, I don't know, but depends the type of office you have. When you need to buy cleaning products for the bathroom, so your staff have clean bathroom, the business owner does it. I am surprised a couple of our business owners, this is the last thing on their mind.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I have to walk into an office and have a conversations about hygiene of the office and the presentation of the office, that your staff walk in, your people walk in, how you present your office, how it looks, how it smells, how this is all part of your image.
Even just how welcoming you are
how
when somebody
welcoming
walks
you are.
into your office. So
Do you know, a couple of franchisees I walk into and it could be sitting there all day, no one is even
Nobody's
offering you a
acknowledged
cup of tea. No one offers a cup of tea. If I want anything, I'm not saying I'm too big for my boots that I need someone to offer, but
it's hospitality,
but
isn't
it's
it?
hospitality.
Yeah.
This is the image of your business. This is the presentation. This is what counts. The amount of clients, sometimes the families just walk in because they want to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation. You don't have a clean kitchen. You don't have clean mugs, clean office. Doesn't smell right. What does that say about your whole business?
First impressions, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can't say it's a man thing or a woman thing, because we have female business owners that this happened to, and we have male business owners this happened to. And you know, I am comfortable with it now, but when I first had to address it, I was even embarrassed.
Yeah, how do you address that?
Every time I've ever moved to a new office, one of the first things I buy is cleaning products and a smelly thing for the office.
Yeah, and put a bit of thought into the layout and
yeah. It doesn't need to be anything posh, anything fancy. It just needs to be clean, tidy, show that you can follow processes and you can have certain hygienes.
Yeah. Set the standards.
Set the standard. Yeah. We're going to people's homes to look after them. If those people come to your office, would they even trust you going to their home?
Yeah. If they don't accept a cup of tea, you've got an issue.
Yeah.
The mugs are dirty.
Yeah. So it's honestly, it's all the things that people don't think about when they want to start a business.
Yeah. And even how people dress in the office. Yeah. So you wouldn't expect your manager to come with a hoodie and a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a pair of trainers on.
No.
Yeah. So you need to set the standards and the expectations.
I always tell my female franchisees, my female staff, wear makeup. You must wear makeup. There has been lots of studies. I can't tell you the name of the studies. I've listened to them on different podcasts and speeches, but when women look presentable and they wear makeup, and I don't mean go to town with makeup, just
a little bit
of makeup, they earn more, people respect them more, whether you like it or not. We judge people within the first 3 seconds of meeting them. So it's really important how you present yourself. Yeah. Especially if you're a director of a business.
Yeah, directors and managers. Yeah. I would say anybody office based, really. Yeah. They need to be there's a certain label that's
and our carers,
expected. Yeah.
Our carers, because our clients sometimes see nobody else except the carers.
Yeah.
So you want to look presentable, you want to look nice and fun and happy, clean and tidy. So they enjoy, nothing is worse than a smelly carer going somewhere and you have to do manual handling.
And then you have to have that really awkward conversation because you've had a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier just to set the standards and the expectations in the beginning than having to have that awkward conversation later.
Yeah, I have to say, when I went into business, I didn't think I have to have these type of conversations, but you do.
Yeah, they do come up.
You do. They do come up. And clients might be really nice in your face, but they don't think twice before picking up the phone and say, by the way, that person says, or and trust. You build bonds and you build trust. So
especially in this business.
And that's the director's job, to make sure these standards are.
Yeah, and it's the director's job to build relationships and to build trust, to get his brand known in the community, to get out there and meet with people and chat with people. But we're having a challenge with a lot of our directors doing that.
Our directors are responsible to make sure processes are happening, people are following processes, they're doing their KPIs, they hold their staff accountable.
Yeah.
If you come in and you don't want to be hands-on and you've not recruited a director and you expect A, B, C, and D from your care manager, and the care managers drowning in workload, and the coordinators are drowning in workloads, and they're not necessarily caring about your vision. They're just firefighting every day to.
I think as well, when the directors cut corners, then that causes issues, because if
you set examples,
you're a role model, and people are looking up to you to see what you're doing. And if you're the one that's telling them it's okay, just skip that bit, or we haven't bothered about that bit, just forget about that, then how can you address that later on? It becomes a massive issue. So it's really important from the beginning that you're doing things correct.
There is something else we need to keep an eye, and I'm talking from experience. As directors, remember, we work in the care sector, which is heavily regulated.
Yep.
And as directors, we have a lot of responsibilities. So
and accountability. It comes to you.
If something goes wrong, at the end of the day, it comes to the director and hunts the provider. The provider. Director is the provider. And I remember I had an issue with one of my managers at the beginning of my career, and I called the care inspectorate, and I told them about all my issues, and the care inspector said, at the end of the day, you're the provider, it's your responsibility. I said, what do you mean? I thought it's to do with the care manager. It's not, because I am responsible to manage my care manager. So if I'm not doing the job, it's my responsibility if I'm not managing my team right. So the directors who come into care and they think I can stand back and enjoy the high life, and
the manager's going to do it all.
It doesn't work like that. If something goes massively wrong, you're the one accountable. You're the one who goes to prison.
Yeah. And what we found is the oversight of the service, it lacks at times, because the directors don't have their monthly, weekly, whatever meetings with their managers. They don't have discussions with staff individually, so they're not really aware of what the issues are or what's going on in the service. They rely solely on their manager, and not everybody is as honest as what they should be when it comes to maybe things not going so well in the service. So you really need to understand the compliance side of it and the quality assurance side of it, so that you can oversee.
And you can hold them accountable.
And you can hold people accountable.
Because otherwise your manager will tell you anything, you would believe it.
Yeah.
And before you know it, 2 years is gone, and it's shambles, and it's chaotic, and you've
lost control. You've lost control.
Yeah. And if someone's not doing their job right, how can you manage them out legally? If you've not documented anything, if you've not
if you just turned a blind eye, which most people do actually, it's quite common that people just let things escalate until it becomes a big problem, and then you're stuck with the decision of how do I deal with this now? You've got no evidence. So the quicker, if you're having issues, the first thing you should do is start to document and start to put the process into play, because these processes take a long time. So if you have got issues with one of your managers, then it's really important to start that process. It might not go anywhere. That manager might improve with working together, but it might come to a point where you have to use all that to dismiss your manager. So if you're having issues, it's exactly the same as if it was a staff member. You would start a process to try and improve their performance. That's what goal you're trying to achieve. But sometimes it comes to a point where that doesn't work, so you might have to dismiss. And that process, it took you a while to gather all the information that you needed.
Yes, it did. And you know what? As a business owner, for private circumstances, I was forced to take a step back. And that's when I was there every day, but I wasn't involved in day-to-day running of the business. I took a step back, and that's when I started saying things are not adding up, people are not being honest, things are,
you start seeing things from a different
and if
angle.
I wasn't present, I don't know if I would have known any of that, because I trusted my manager 100%. And you just you don't think someone with such level of responsibility could bend the truth so much. I wasn't experienced enough in running a business to that level back then, and I believed everything I was being told. Now I don't believe anything I'm told.
It's the opposite effect. It's suspicious to everybody.
It's suspicious to everybody. That's not good either, but that's what life teaches you. So you have a lot of responsibility as a business owner. So if you're coming into care, if you're coming to any business, you need to know that being a director is not about all the fancy holidays and expensive dinner reservations and all these things. You need to put the graft in, the hard work in.
If one of the things you do is set the vision with the directors, and it's really important to keep going back to that because they get lost a bit sometimes with everything that's going on and a bit overwhelmed, and bringing them back to that vision and then thinking, right, okay, break that down and how are you going to achieve that? How are we going to get there?
Yeah, and do you know what has been common, which is quite interesting, is some of our directors are finding it difficult to have difficult conversation with staff, that if they had addressed it at the beginning, it wouldn't even be a difficult situation. And then they come to us and their business is not fully developed. And they say, okay, now I want to go and get clients with mental health issues and learning disabilities. And we're like, you can't even manage your team,
we need to fix this
you
first.
Can't even bring staff and address hygiene issues or, whatever. How are you going to manage clients with mental health, alcohol and drug misuse? And
I think
it's just like for your own bad.
And wanting to join frameworks and things within the first year, actually starting a business, and we advise not to because we know the pressures, and growing fast and big is not going to provide you a quality service, and it's going to actually have the opposite effect. Your quality is going to drop.
And you can lose control so fast in care.
Especially if you've never been involved as in a leadership position in care, so you're new to it. And you want to expand really, really fastly to get the money, and understand why you want to expand. But there's a safe way of doing it, and a way that it won't affect your business, because once you start providing a bad service, that kind of sticks, and your reputation speaks for itself. So if you're having people coming back and with complaints, or just in general not having a very nice thing to say about your service, then you're never going to expand.
No.
Build up your experience first, work with what you've got and improve what you've got before you want to join any frameworks. And we always, I would say we would recommend at least a year, because you need your ratings. Not every framework needs you to have ratings, but it's better to kind of establish, see what the regulators are saying about your service.
With this proper structure in place, you can build on it.
And what we're finding is when the director's in charge of certain things, processes, so recruitment processes, onboarding processes, they're not robust enough. And it's them that are causing the issues. It's them that are causing the biggest issues in the service, but they don't see it. And we can say, look at our onboarding process, highlight the bits that you've not followed. It's not robust enough. That's why you're getting complaints every time you send a new staff member in.
Another thing is, you guys are helping a branch develop the team, and you and our other colleague Sandra were in that office, and how many times did the business owner phone the coordinator?
At least 20, on top of everything else that poor girl was doing. So we're in to support the service, actually, and make sure it's compliant. I think one of the things that we had agreed was that the director comes into that office. The director wasn't in the office and hasn't been in all week, but was on the phone constantly. So there was no clarity or no communication between the two of them. So listening in, you could kind of get adjusted to the conversation. And that poor girl was left even more confused by the time she got off the phone.
And how can you even work if your boss phones you every 2 minutes? It's a different thing. How can you get anything done?
A majority of the things could have been dealt with, because there's only two of them in that office. It's a very small office. So rather than delegating everything to one person who's already in the process of being trained, just take some of that responsibility yourself and have a wee think that how much workload has that person got, because I think there's quite a few branches where some of the roles or responsibilities, it's overwhelming for some people. They just have far too many. And then their actual job that they've been recruited for, their performance in that role really declines because they've got so much other responsibilities on top. And I think coordinators, they get the raw deal when it comes to workload.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in some branches, not them all, but in some branches, the coordinators get a lot of responsibilities to do.
Yes. So we've discussed directors. Next is care managers.
So care managers are the ones that do the day-to-day operations. They are the ones who support the team, put things in place, make sure everything's running quite smoothly. All your processes are being followed. You're adhering to your policies. You can kind of see them into play and into action. And just keeping on top of the team to make sure all the tasks are being completed and everything's up to date. That's and training and coaching and mentoring.
Yeah. How are the current care managers we have now? We have 8 active offices, and we have 3 that signed up. They're just at the beginning.
Yeah, I would say what are active care managers just now? How are they?
Yeah.
There's challenges.
What are our challenges?
I think they're not really our challenges. The directors are finding some of their managers quite challenging. When the director wants to promote something new or has a new idea or wants to make a bit of a change, we've got a few managers that kick back and really they hit a brick wall. And the manager will come up with lots of excuses, maybe take advantage of the fact that you're not from a care background and give you information that's not 100% accurate to avoid the change.
Yeah.
One of our bigger branches, they've had a lot of change over the last year or so. Probably the last 2 years actually. He's implemented a lot of change. And one of the things I say is it's really, really important that your team understand the reason why things need to change. So get them on board that way. But also what's it going to benefit, right? Because you're not going to change something to make it worse. You're going to change something to try and improve something along the way. So explain to your team the why and explain to your team how it's going to benefit everybody, or it's going to benefit clients, or it's going to benefit you. People are more on board if they can see the benefits of it. And then making sure that you're supplying enough resources and knowledge that your team are able to kind of implement that change. So they know what they're doing. If it's training, they might need new trainings or resources. But that's the director's job as well, to make sure that all that's available to the team. So rather than just coming in with a change, not explaining anything, it gets people's back up. Nobody likes change.
Yeah.
People like just to plod along. So they 3 steps are really, really important when you're implementing change.
So when we are reviewing that process with that particular branch, we can see faults at both ends. But at the end of the day, I always say if something's not working, generally it's not working from top.
Yep.
So the business owner doesn't explain things properly, doesn't translate their vision properly. They don't want to be hands-on. And they just leave the rest of the team to deal with it. And when it doesn't go according to the way he wants it, then he's not here in the office to really see day-to-day challenges and whether his vision is being translated correctly or not.
Yeah,
because it's one thing you have an idea, but then you're not there to implement it. You tell a second person to deliver that, and you don't know how that message is getting delivered.
Yeah, and
we often see what's being delivered and what the people at the end of the hierarchy is receiving is not what the business owner is.
Yeah, it's not what he's originally stated,
or it's not what his vision is at all.
Yeah, and if you've got changes, I think if you've got somebody in a leadership position like your manager and you're feeding negativity down to the team, that's a disaster just waiting to happen. The morale just drops. Everybody gets on board with that negativity, and I think that's why it's really important to have clarity and really have one-to-one conversations with your staff. And like I say, you need to explain why things are getting done the way they're done, and do that yourself. You don't need to filter that down. Especially if you've got a manager who's already coming with you with concerns with everything that you're saying, then you're the one that needs to portray that to the team, rather than the manager.
And everybody wants to do a good job. They're just not working as a team. That's it.
And I think a lot of the times, the issues, although there are issues there, they're not as big an issue as what people think. So if people feel unheard or they don't feel listened to or you're not explaining things and there's no clarity, then people often end up confused. And these issues can become a lot bigger than what the actual issue is. And if you get to the root cause of it, 9 out of 10 times people all want the same thing. And that we tend to find that a lot when things get heated in meetings or debates. And if you just stop, everybody's wanting to achieve the same thing. We're all just coming in at different angles. And we all just need to take a step back and think about the outcome and how we're going to get there.
Yeah, definitely. Because they are actually an excellent team. I trust all of them and I'm proud of all of them. But they're not managing to work as a team. And I think what's missing is the leadership.
Yeah, there's a lot of blame culture. And that's really damaging as well if there's a blame culture. Because at the end of the day, like you say, most of the time, well, it always starts with the top. Starts with the top down. So if your team aren't doing well, you really need to look at the processes and what they've been asked to do. Is it even realistic for them to do all that?
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the director. Somebody needs to be present in the office who holds the accountability and delivers the vision the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. So we have job descriptions for each role. And what we found is a lot of the directors will just create them. They'll just make them up and create a whole new job title and create a whole new list of responsibilities for people without actually understanding how much an impact that's going to actually have on their role in general. So, for example, a coordinator should just be doing rotas, but the coordinator is dealing with staff, one-to-ones, coordinations, phone calls day in, day out, and then there's issues with rotas. And you think there's issues with rotas because your team don't get the time to focus on their rotas because they've got all these other responsibilities. So that's why you've got issues with rotas. But in general, I think when you're developing your responsibilities, if you've not put much thought into the role and you're just adding responsibilities, then it's not going to work. So I think the responsibilities and the job roles, just stick with what we have and don't be adding any. Or if you do need a new role, then the directors should consult with us rather than the managers as well. So I think everybody needs to be involved if there's a new job role coming on board.
It's a franchise. They can't be creating their own job role. And they come to us after things have not worked, and then we go through it and we say, well, this shouldn't be how it should be. And they're like, oh, in my office it's different. Well, no, this is a franchise. It cannot be different in your office.
Or cheating. So they'll want to recruit somebody to do a lot of responsibilities, like management level responsibilities, but advertise it as a coordinator. That happens a lot.
They don't want to pay a salary of a care manager. They're advertised as a supervisor or coordinator. But people who are experienced in the field are not stupid. They read and say, hold on a minute, that's not a coordinator's job, that's a care manager's job.
And they'll come to you and say, Melody, I've not had any applicants. I'm struggling to get a care, I'm struggling for an applicant for this role. And we'll have a look at it and we'll say, well, there's the reason why, because you're asking for a care manager. And like you say, anybody with experience can clearly see the responsibilities are care management.
We've actually had, this actually has happened a few times, that they have to come to us for advice, and we give them the job spec and we speak to them about the structure of the office and what they want and stuff like that. And eventually when we manage to encourage them to do it our way, we find out we recruit a couple of people and they're excellent and we offer them a job, and the business owner picks up the phone and says, actually, this is what I need, I need you to come and do this and do this. And the people don't accept the jobs. And they come to us and say, why? And I'm like, well, what is it you're doing in between that you don't want us to be present in the conversation to hear? Because we help with recruiting the office team, because that's the most important team. We help with training, we help with recruitment, we do the interviews, we do the job adverts,
manage
we
performance.
We
do lots of things.
What is it you go and do behind their back? And then obviously they're not going to come on board because people are not stupid. They can read between the lines. You cannot haggle
somebody's job.
You cannot negotiate somebody's job that actually you want me to do all these other things and you're only paying me this much and the job title is only this. I don't think so.
So that's happened a lot.
They're learning the hard way, aren't they? Some of the things we can tell them till we go blue in the face. But
and we keep saying all these mistakes have all been made 10 years before, and all these processes are all robust and in place based on everything that we've learned. And the work. So stick to the process and you'll be fine. And in between they decide to change it up a bit or miss bits out or...
Actually, do you know what businesses, and I don't mean to sound snobbish or whatever the word is, but the businesses are doing well are genuinely the ones who run everything past us and they go and do it the way we tell them to. So they're not making any mistakes. They're building amazing relationships and they're building good clientele because they're learning from us. And we now have a franchise network that not only the last 10 years that we've learned from, anyone anywhere makes a mistake, we all learn from it. And, if you buy a franchise, then learn from these experiences and go and do it properly. And now their businesses are growing amazingly without any of the challenges that some of the other branches have.
Yeah, and just simply because of listen.
Because they listen and run things past us. It's just a 2-minute conversation. We say yes or no.
Sometimes can be quite a costly mistake as well that they do without running it past, and it's too late by the time they.
Yeah. It's like I don't know, recruiting the coordinator and then expecting them to be on call 24/7. Who does that?
Yeah. But no, that's not even the process. It's just whoever answers the phone.
Yeah.
So you're both on call then. So 2 people are on call waiting on this phone going, but who goes out if something happens? Or who's available at the weekend? Or are you out at the weekend? There's no conversation. It's just whoever answers the phone.
Yeah, because usually answering the phone needs an action.
Yeah. And on call, 9 times out of 10, if it goes in the morning, somebody's phoning off sick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're learning the hard ways. Yeah, if they would only listen.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was the care manager. What about care coordinators? This is the biggest challenge we have. I'm assuming in care as a whole.
I think home care, it's a challenge. I would assume anywhere where you're in a building, it's not going to be as challenging as home care because you're coordinating is probably the most challenging job, I would say. Yeah. I suppose it wouldn't be if you didn't have all the other responsibilities on top of it, and if that was your sole responsibility. And I think you have to have a bit of an analytic and strategic mind. Like you've got to plan it out and figure out where people fit and be able to adjust and adapt people's visit times. And it's a challenging job. I think most of the coordinators are the ones who answer the phone. So apart from having that challenge with the rotas, they also have the challenge with dealing with complaints, disgruntled clients that come on the phone, staff who are not happy with the runs or the rotas or there's no travel time, and they deal with everything. Chasing up prescriptions, which is timely, continence products that they need to do, dealing with families.
Yeah. Lots of things.
There's lots of things. Yeah.
And then as soon as something goes wrong, they blame the coordinators as well, which is very unfair.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think the coordinator's role should just be coordinating. It's a difficult and challenging job as it is. And they also have to think ahead. So your rotas have to be 2 weeks ahead. At least you've got to think about the holidays that are coming up. You've got to think about school holidays that are coming up. Christmas time, you've got to allocate Christmas rotas and
Ramadan.
There's just so much that a coordinator has to pre-think about and plan ahead for, and you can't do that when you've got 100 other things going on in the background.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's the most challenging job, I think, in the care sector.
Somebody actually said, and it's true, that's where you make the most money. In a business, your rotas are key for you to make money.
Yeah.
So if you're not if your rotas aren't organised well or structured well, they'll cost you money. So if you give your coordinators time to really look at the runs and really adapt them and being able to move and shift them to a rota that will work, it will save you money. It will save you money, and you can identify where you can expand into,
and that's where your processes really, really become handy if you do it well.
Yeah.
Because we have had in the past when the coordinator struggles to coordinate, what they start doing is as soon as the phone rings, they're the first people to answer the phone because they're trying to avoid doing the coordinating.
Yeah. Or they put themselves out.
Yeah, put themselves out. And it's like...
that doesn't work. You need to coordinate.
Like yeah. No, it's definitely... honestly, we can talk for 2 days about coordinating. And the funny thing is the amount of genuinely care staff who think people in the office are sitting in the office having a laugh, having cups of teas, and they do nothing. And the amount of, since 2011, the amount of people we've given opportunity to come and work as a coordinator, and they get all excited, oh, I've got a cushy job, and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
They all come. I remember even you.
Yeah.
Everybody comes in with ideas of, if you just do this, why are we going here, why are we going there? And it's such an easy job. The office doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Literally every coordinator who comes into the office,
They're in there for a shock.
Yeah. I remember one of our coordinators who actually moved up the ladder and is doing really well and is a care manager now. I remember when they first came to the office, I looked at them and they were sitting talking to themselves. I was like, what are you doing? She was like, it's impossible.
It's not that easy.
And I was like, it's not that easy. I was like, well, welcome to my world.
Yeah, but you've got clients who have specific times for their medication, so you need to make sure they've got their 4 hours in between. You've got staff who are barred for certain clients' houses, so you need to adjust their runs. It's not just as easy as give me A, B, C, and D. And then you've got clients who are really adamant about their time and they have preferences for carers, and it's a massive jigsaw puzzle. It's a massive jigsaw puzzle. But it comes from confidence as well, to be able to talk to clients, and if they're not happy with a staff member, rather than taking the easy option at the time to just take that person out and say, oh, that's fine, we'll just not send them again. Because that's not the easy option. You've just left yourself wide open to loads of more problems. Is to have that confidence to say, right, okay, if it's a performance issue, we'll retrain, but we need to retry and bring that staff member back in, that kind of thing, rather than just taking that person out. Because next week, what are you going to do with that one call that you need to cover, and that person can't go in? You're going to have to bring somebody from another area or cover it yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's not the easy option.
Yeah, and I think in our network, and that's something we're working on, the person who is not being used to the full, what's the word I'm looking for? Our supervisors. They're not really being used to the fullest potential. They could make life so much easier.
Yeah, they're actually a key part of your team. Supervisors, they're the ones that go out and observe quality care. They're the ones that address things out in the field. They speak to the clients, they build up trust. They're your go-between between the field staff and your office staff. So yeah, they're a really key part, and without them, what I've noticed with the new franchises is when you're on board and your supervision is very weak, then you have a very weak staffing team. So having your supervisors that are really well trained, they've got their SPQ3s, but they've also had your own training, that can mentor and coach staff right along the way and provide that support, makes an absolutely massive difference to the quality of the care that the people deliver. If you don't do that, you will end up with complaint after complaint. You'll end up with poor performance issues, constantly in meetings, constantly on one-to-ones, performance issues. That just goes into a vicious cycle. Whereas if you start off following our process and procedure for onboarding and supervision and ongoing, and make it really robust, then it gives people an opportunity to identify concerns really quickly. So if I'm going to be touching with my new staff every week, they've got an opportunity to tell me what's not going well. I've got an opportunity with them. I'll be touching them with people that they've been working with. I've been touching them with clients, and I'll say, how's this new staff member getting on? And we can nip things in the bud really, really quickly before it just becomes a habit. But that's key to having a quality service, is getting that bit right. And if you get that bit right and employ the right person, because you have to be confident to be a supervisor. You have to be able to go into a visit and be able to stop somebody if you see them doing something wrong, and address it and give them advice on doing it better.
Definitely.
But they're definitely a vital role. And like you say, we're not utilising them to the full potential at the minute, because a lot of the supervisors are out in the field, because it's an extra cost, really. All office staff are an extra expense. So that's where your private clients come into play, because private clients, you can charge a realistic amount, and that pays for all these extra things. So you can provide a quality service the more private clients you have. Because otherwise you don't have the overhead, you don't have the money to pay for all the overheads.
No, definitely. We're quite excited for the next 12 months because all these things that we're implementing and our franchisees are coming on board with, and we're seeing the difference. It's going to be amazing. And we've learned a lot. It's really funny. We've learned that the franchisees who have invested a lot of money and they have a proper structure in place, that they're paying us a lot of money because they're putting the processes in place properly, they're following our advice and things like that. Things just run smoothly, and it's a joy to work with, and it's a lot easier. but the franchisees who don't listen and they want to challenge everything, yet they're bought a franchise and everything is a argument. They're giving us a lot of workload for hardly any return just now, and they're not developing their businesses either. They're not managing to expand. They're not managing to do well. And it's quite interesting to now see the differences.
Yeah. I would say we've got some directors that are running about like headless chickens.
Yeah.
They're just running around being busy, but not in the right places.
Yeah.
And I think they think if I'm busy, I'm doing it well.
Yeah.
But you're being overly busy in the wrong places and things aren't working. So.
And they keep saying, Melody, you don't know how hard it is. You don't know the struggles I go through. And I'm like, yeah, I've only been doing this since 2011. I know nothing about what you're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if something goes wrong, it'll be, Dawn, you don't know business. And I'm like, well, I know your business is not doing very well. So.
I know your business better than you.
Yeah. We need to fix it.
Yeah. So that's an easy line for everybody. Dawn has never run a business, so she doesn't know what it's like. Well, no, actually, she's been in this line of work for 20 years. She knows exactly what the challenges are about. You just don't want to listen to her.
Yeah, it's hard work.
It's really hard work.
And being a director is hard work. It's not an easy ride. It's not just I've got a name to a business and everyone else can do it. It's not an easy ride. And if anything, I would say the director has the most challenging job because you've got to keep everybody else in a job.
Yeah, I just remembered something. Years and years ago, when I decided to go self-employed, I went into retail and I opened the ladies' wear, fashion, high-end fashion, little boutique in Edinburgh. And my dad is a businessman. He's been in business for many, many years. And I remember he said to me, Melody, so what are you going to do if you don't have any customers? I thought it was the most stupid question ever because I thought, what do you mean? I have a shop. I'm going to open my door. Of course I'm going to have customers. I didn't.
They never came.
No, they never came. It was just before the last recession. During the recession, it was when Apple came and iPad came and people started doing online shopping and online shopping really. And I literally had the shop for 2 years and I had to close down. I remember 5 days in a row, other than the postman and the bills I couldn't pay, no one else came to the shop. I never forget that question. And my dad said, what are you going to do if no one comes to your shop? I thought,
what a silly question.
What a silly question. What do you mean? I'm opening my doors and the shop looks beautiful. Of course people are going to come. It just shows you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and your dad's been in business for a long time.
And I never, sometimes you don't realize even when people give you the advice and you don't take their advice and so it's just honestly, it's really.
You need to do the work to get the business.
Yeah,
it doesn't just come.
No. And sometimes external things affect your business. For example, in care, if you're solely working with your local authority and your local authority wakes up today and decides, I'm not going to work this way, I want to work this way, or we're going to change the rules and there's no budget, no nothing. Your whole business goes.
Yeah,
just like that.
All your eggs are in one basket. So that's maybe explore all different options. And I think that's the beauty of having a lot of different people in your team to kind of negotiate, because we're going to be exploring digital for care, because there's lots of digital technology and that seems to be the way it's going. So we'll need to progress with that as well. So we're talking about AI in the last one.
Yeah, definitely. It's not a boring job, is it?
No, and care, the industry changes. Every year there's something new, a regulation changes, or like you say, the council will change the way they want to work. And it's just constantly evolving.
Yeah, I had a staff member phoning me looking for a job today, and he said, I work in the borders in Scotland and I work for council, but they've lost their budget, so they can't keep employing us anymore. I said, welcome
welcome to care.
Care. That's don't think it's just in the borders. Council's cutting budgets everywhere.
Yeah, council budget's very tiny for the health and social care sector for what they need. I think it varies between like £21 to maybe £27, or if you've got somebody a bit more complex needs, it'll go higher. But reality is care costs between 35 upwards pounds to keep it sustainable. So there's that gap. If you've got a lot of clients that are from the council, you've got that big gap to try and fill. Where you get that money? So that's what pays for your office and things.
So Dawn, we've spoken for 45
Okay.
minutes, 50 minutes. And when we came online, we thought we have nothing to say.
10 minutes.
10, 15. I said, Dawn, if you can last 15 minutes, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
50 minutes later. So there you go. We do have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it to half an hour. We're not really being successful in that.
No, we get a bit carried away.
Yeah, because people listen to podcasts in their cars. So we were trying to stick to half an hour. But, you know, you can maybe listen to us in 2-car journeys.
Yeah. 2 parts. Part 1 and part 2.
And if anyone listening to this podcast and is finding it interesting and that you actually want us to talk about anything specific, drop me an email, melody@meloosha.co.uk, and we'll come here and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Or even if you're interested in a franchise, you can get in contact too. So
yeah, and or if you want to come to our podcast and talk about loved ones, you know, if you have loved ones suffering, living with dementia or learning disabilities or mental health issues, and you have experience, good or bad, working with care companies, come here. We would like to speak to you.
Or any of our clients if these are watching.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.